Differentiating equation 8.10 with respect to time gives r dot is equal to xi plus yj plus zk plus xi yj plus zk. I guess that must be a component vector. The term is the velocity of point P relative to the moving coordinate system xyz. For convenience, let x. It's Christmas! You know what? You're right. Fuck this shit. It's Christmas, and you know what that means? That means that you give gifts to people you barely know, gifts of which that are pretty shitty. So, our gift to you is an episode of SALSA Reviews, where we fucking review SALSA, and the only people who watch this episode are like our friends and shit. And they do it out of pity. It's actually kind of sad when you think about it. So, for this Christmas special, we're not doing just one, we're not doing two, but we're doing 3 salsas today. That's right, folks. It's gonna be salsa shootouts with like guns and shit. So, our first contender is, just reaching my hat here, we got Great Value Hot Thick and Chunky Salsa. Which is kind of surprising because lately we've been doing a lot of like really obscure stuff. Like we've been doing peach salsa, we've been doing a bunch of other wacky shit. So it's nice to kind of break the mold and go back to the basics, so to speak. So off the bat, this is a very basic salsa from what you can tell, you know. You got a really basic label here, you got the very generic Great Value kind of text here and all that stuff. So let's crack into this bitch and see what we got, eh? As always, we got that nice pop. That's really nice to have. So, right off the bat, we got a very basic smell. It's not bad. It's somewhat fresh smelling, which is a nice change of pace. I can smell a little bit of that spice in there too, which is good. So, apart from the smell, we gotta taste it, right? So, what better way to introduce the taste than our own very favorite Tostitos Scoops gives us a nice chip to salsa ratio. So, let's dig into this stuff. As I'm pouring it, I can see that there's a good amount of chunk in there, which is great. Just as if it's saying thick and chunky, it's really living up to its thick and chunky name, which is great. Right. So this is the Great Value Hot Thick and Chunky Salsa. Going in. First impressions of this salsa, it's very basic. It's tomato based, so by default you're gonna get a very tomatoey kind of taste of it with not much of anything else, which is to be expected. And it also says that it's a hot salsa, but let's be real, it's about as hot as a Christmas morning as a young adult. You show up to the Christmas tree and with all your presents and you're really excited, right? And then you open it and it's just a bunch of like kitchen appliances. And you're thinking, oh, hey, that's pretty cool, I guess. That's, yeah, I'm an adult, aren't I? So I can't get any Hot Wheels sets as Christmas gifts anymore. But come St. March and you go back to your house and you start using the appliance, you're thinking, you know what? This is actually a very good gift. And that is pretty much in line with this Great Value salsa. Like, sure, it's not very hot, but it gets the job done. And it's honestly, like, pretty good for what it is. Well, you've heard what I think. Now let's see what these fucking clowns think.
You know, as a Mariah Carey enthusiast, you know, this salsa really isn't that hot. Like, I've had mayonnaise that's hotter.
Yeah, it's okay. Not too spicy. Just a little spice. Pretty mild. Like, not my first choice, but it's pretty good.
this is the point in the video when I say, you know what, this is a pretty good salsa. But since we're doing 3 at once, I'm thinking, you know what, maybe we should install a bit of a ranking system. So I'm going to give this 3.5 candy canes out of 5, where that half candy cane is sort of like sharpened to a point like you used to do in middle school. Let's go on to our next salsa, shall we? So up next we have President's Choice Extra Chunky Salsa Hot. I'm pretty sure there's a political joke in there somewhere. So right off the bat we can see on this label they have a picture of a suggested serving method where they have a fat scoop of this salsa on a blue corn chip. Like they expect me to get a spoon, scoop out the salsa and put it on a restaurant style chip. Like, God forbid. We live in a society, people. A society which uses scoops, which gives us a nice chip to salsa ratio. Upon first smell, I'm getting a more smoky flavor from the salsa, which is sort of nice. I'm not smelling any sort of heat from it like I was the last time, but who knows? It could be spicier than the Great Value stuff we had earlier. Alright, well, anyways, let's give this a shot. Nice and chunky like our last stuff, which is to be expected, I suppose. So this is the President's Choice Extra Chunky Salsa Hot. Going in. First impressions of this salsa, it tastes a lot like chili. Not to say that that's a bad thing. Like, I don't expect to open a jar of salsa and have it taste like chili or anything, but it's a really welcome change from all the tomato-based like salsas that we tend to have on this show. You feel that heat a little bit, which is really unexpected from some of these other hot salsas that you get. You know, this salsa kind of reminds me of that cool cousin that kind of shows up to your Christmas dinner when you're 16 and he pulls you off to the side and says, hey, I got a sick little bottle of vodka that goes great with Mountain Dew. So your eyes widen up and you're thinking, oh man, it's gonna be lit tonight. It's lit! That's what I think of when I eat this salsa. It's a nice break from the mundane. So I'm gonna give this 4 out of 5 golden rain.
You know, as an avid listener of Bon Jovi, this is some pretty damn good chili. Wait, is this not chili? What the fuck?
This is actually really good. A lot better than the other one. It's a little like chili, but it's good. Christmas.
So for our third and final contestant, we have a salsa with no name. No, I'm serious. Like, it's literally got no name salsa on the end of it. Like, you zoom in here and it's written in like Arial bold or some shit. Speaking of Arial bold, like, this label is the most bare bones shit I've ever seen. Like, it's literally like a yellow background with some Arial bold text. And they just kind of threw it together in Microsoft PowerPoint, highlighted every single image, and then right-clicked and said, save image as, and then just typed in the little bar at the bottom and said label. That's literally what became of this. There's no little mission statement on anything. You got your nutrition facts, but that's kind of stated by like the FDA or anything like that. Okay, so we have a lot of tomato notes, which is to be expected from a tomato-based salsa. Not a lot of smoke though. I should add that it's a medium salsa. We couldn't find the hot stuff, so I'm not smelling a lot of chili powder, so to speak. So let's pour this into our jar here and see what we got. I must say though, it's not as chunky as the other two that we had. It's a little more soupy, but sure, there's a couple chunks in there, so it's not all that bad. So let's take our Tostito scoops here and let's see what we got. I feel like I should give this a 3 7/8 chestnuts roasting over an open fire. Sure, the great value stuff we reviewed earlier is a 3.5 candy canes out of 5, where the half is sharpened to a point, but I feel like this is just slightly better than that because it's more balanced, and sure there is not as much. You know what? I'll just kind of do that myself, thanks. There we go. What was I saying? Yeah. So I'll give this 3 7/8 chestnuts roasting over an open fire because sure it's not as hot as the great value stuff that we reviewed earlier, but it's far more balanced than the great value stuff, and I feel like that is far more valuable than heat itself.
You know, not to bootleg Buddy, this salsa is like surprisingly average. Just kind of like my music taste.
It was okay. In all honesty, a little disappointed in the noting. Thought it was going to be better. Yeah, it was just average. Nothing too good about it. Just plain.
Honestly, overall mouthfeel, adequate. Salsa, subpar. 3 out of 5 stars, I'd recommend.
Now, don't get me wrong when I say this. Like, all of the salsas we had today were very good, but obviously when we do a 3 salsa shootout, we gotta pick favorites here. So, in 3rd place, we have the Great Value Hot Thick and Chunky Salsa. It probably doesn't come as much of a surprise. Like, sure, it's got a little bit of heat to it, but a lot of the tomato notes came out a little bit too strong. Next, in 2nd place, we have the No Name Medium Salsa. It's not as hot as the other stuff, granted, because we couldn't find the hot stuff, but it's got a very nice balance to it, and overall, it's just salsa, so how can you complain about that? And now in 1st place, I'm sure you guys can guess, it's the President's Choice Extra Hot Thick and Chunky stuff. Now, this has been a total tide turner for us because we were totally not expecting it to taste like chili, but sure enough, it was definitely the best out of the 3 in our opinion. That is our ranking for today, and we thoroughly hope you enjoyed this episode of Salsa Reviews, and we will definitely see you in the next year next time. What's wrong with you people? Like, shouldn't you be off, like, enjoying Christmas with your families and shit? Then go on. Come on, turn this shit off and go see your family. Stop watching this bullshit. What the hell's wrong with you people?